holiday so special. And this season, variety is the spice of life at Tony Roma's. Like our new variety platter with baby back and St. Louis ribs, basted with our 4 signature sauces. Tony's new zesty boneless buffalo bites definitely spice things up. Then celebrate with our mini dessert trio or new creme brulee. Plus, every sip is something special with Tony's new drinkable desserts. This season, you can give the gift of good taste with Tony Roma's gift cards.
It's Bear's Holiday Home Sale. 50% off Kingstown mattresses. Queen sets starting at $5.99. Plus receive a $100 discount coupon to use store-wide. No interest till 2010. 24-hour delivery. Bear's Holiday Home Sale. On now.
Want more of ABC? Visit Local10.com and click on ABC Video Player.
Welcome to World News. Tonight, Detroit's automakers try to resell Congress on their need for $34 billion to avoid bankruptcy. And even that may not be enough.
They would ultimately need between $75 billion and $125 billion to avoid this fate.
Rate break. Mortgage rates dropped to their lowest level in almost a year, and the government has a plan to keep them low. Party on. Why is an international bank under criminal investigation throwing a lavish art festival for wealthy clients? Brian Ross investigates. And guest host, a benefactor taking hundreds of people down on their luck to the Obama inauguration.
Like Barack Obama, we too believe in the American dream.
From ABC News headquarters, this is World News with Charles Gibson.
Good evening. The CEOs of the big 3 American automakers were back on Capitol Hill today saying their companies, pillars of the American economy for decades, are on the brink of disappearing. They came to the Hill in hybrid and electric cars, symbols of the future. But whether their companies have a future, they say, depends on getting a governmental bailout. However, it seemed today as if their request for $34 billion was still being met with a great deal of skepticism. Our senior congressional correspondent, Jonathan Karl, is on Capitol Hill. John?
Charlie, the big 3 have lost nearly $3 billion since the last time they were here on Capitol Hill, and that was just 2 weeks ago. Today, GM is saying that it could collapse by the end of the month unless it gets help that Congress seems reluctant to offer. No corporate jets this time. The CEOs arrived on Capitol Hill in American-made cars, electric and hybrid, of course.
How are you feeling, Mr. Brown?
This time they also came with specific plans and a big dose of humility.
I want you to know I heard your message loud and clear.
We're here today because we made mistakes, which we're learning from, because some forces beyond our control have pushed us to the brink.
Even before the CEOs had a chance to speak, the top Republican on the committee said no way.
I intend to oppose bailing out the big 3 auto manufacturers.
And Senator Bob Corker accused Chrysler of seeking federal dollars to prop up the company just to sell it.
I don't wake up every morning thinking about how to sell the company. We're busting our guts. And the people that are left there are busting their guts to make this thing work.
Other senators said federal loans would have to come with strings attached. One idea that seemed to have some traction, creating a federal car czar with the power to force the companies, their suppliers, and the unions to make changes. As long as they get the loans, the CEOs seemed willing to accept anything.
Yes, sir.
Be glad to do it.
Yes.
We know it can be done.
We'd be glad to provide it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Economist Mark Zandi warned the cost of saving the companies would far exceed $34 billion.
You've set a price on the overall efforts to assist the companies of about $75 to $125 billion. If they're forced into bankruptcy, it would be whatever word you describe.
I use cataclysmic.
Catastrophic.
That sense of gloom carried through to the end of the hearing.
Nothing concentrates the mind like a death sentence, and we're looking at a death sentence here if we don't respond intelligently and prudently.
Outside, a top GM executive showed off the cars of GM's future, if there is one. Unless there is action now in the next couple of weeks, GM collapses.
Absolutely. If there's not action by the end of this month, there's a real risk that our company will collapse and the auto industry will collapse.
If Congress fails to act, Detroit's advocates will take their case to the White House, urging the administration to use some of that $700 billion that Congress passed to bail out the financial system. But, Charlie, that is an idea that the White House simply does not like.
But amplify on that point a little bit, John, because it did seem as if members of Congress are saying we don't have the will or maybe even the time to do this for the automakers, but the White House can.
Well, there are a couple of options here. One, Congress could simply pass a smaller amount of money. That, even though, is unlikely the way the mood is up here now. But yes, the Treasury Department could tap into that money. The General Accounting Office today said that they could do that. And there is yet another possibility, and that is the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, some analysts say, could use simply its own power to print money to lend money to Detroit.
All right, Jonathan Karl on Capitol Hill tonight. Thanks. The economic crisis continues to take a toll in jobs. Just today, AT&T announced 12,000 layoffs. Credit Suisse, 5,300. DuPont, 2,500. Viacom, 850. The government will be releasing the November unemployment report tomorrow. Last week, the government injected $600 billion into the mortgage financing system to bring mortgage rates down and to try and boost home sales. It's helping. Today, a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is averaging just over 5.5%, down a half a point from a week ago. And now there's a plan being discussed to bring mortgage rates down even further. So Betsy Stark is here tonight. Betsy?
Charlie, this economic crisis we're in began with the collapse of the housing market, and many economists believe stabilizing the housing market is the key to getting us out of this crisis. But that will not happen until Americans once again believe that buying a home is a good investment.
If you want to buy a house in America today, there are more than 4.6 million for sale.
Everything looks really good in the kitchen.
And as would-be home buyers know, the prices on them keep dropping, down 21 months in a row in 20 of the nation's major cities.
I think people are just sitting on the fence going, I'm going to wait and see what happens. I don't want to get into this yet.
Some say the fastest way to revive the housing market is for the government to lure back buyers. The Treasury Department is now considering a plan to lower fixed-rate mortgages for home buyers from 5.5% today to 4.5%. It's a plan within its power now that it controls Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which own or finance most of the nation's mortgages.
My research suggests that as many as 1.5 million to 2.5 million people are likely to come into the housing market next year if we were to see interest rates for new home purchases go down to 4.5%.
Just last week, after the Fed injected $600 billion into the mortgage market, mortgage rates fell almost a full percentage point, and that set off an avalanche of activity. Mortgage applications were up 112%, more than half of that homeowners looking to refinance at lower rates. Aaron Christensen says the money he's saving will help him hold on to his home.
We're saving probably about $300 a month by doing that now.
$300 that can now be spent in other ways to help revive a lifeless economy.
The Fed is keeping the financial system on life support at the moment. You have to find a way to get the economy off life support, and helping mortgage holders is a piece of it.
Economists say a big drop in mortgage rates would certainly go a long way toward improving home affordability and persuading home buyers who may be on the fence that now is a good time to buy. But any Treasury plan to force mortgage rates lower is unlikely to be implemented until the new president takes office. Charlie.
Betsy Stark reporting again tonight. Next, we're going to turn to India, where we gained new insight today into the mind of a terrorist. Only one of the 10 men accused of staging the Mumbai attacks was captured alive, and he's been telling police a very detailed story about his life and his role in the assault. ABC's Dan Harris is in India.
He is the young, clean-shaven face of terror. High-ranking officers in the Mumbai Police Department tell ABC News that Mohammed Ajmal Kasab is telling interrogators how he went from small-town poverty to infamy. Growing up in a village in Pakistan where his father sold snacks from a street cart. He dropped out of school in 4th grade and then, after falling out with his parents, moved to the city of Lahore, where he got involved with crime. On a trip to this market to buy guns, the seller turned out to be from the group Lashkar-e-Taiba.
The group will attract them by saying, you're going to be a part of a family, but we have a cause that's bigger than us, and that cause is God. And in order to serve God, this is what we need to do.
Police say Kassab has told them how he moved quickly up the ladder in the group's training camps, even getting a lecture in radical Islam from the founder, Hafiz Muhammad Saeed.
And the training lasted for some people for a year and for some for more than a year.
Police say Kassab was then hand-picked for the Mumbai attack, part of a two-man team that killed 55 at this train station.
They are very cool that time when they are firing on people. They were smiling.
All the other gunmen were killed. Kassab was injured and captured. He is now being held at an undisclosed location where he's undergoing medical treatment and interrogation. Police say Kassab is providing useful information and insights into what motivates a terrorist, twisted faith, and in his case, the promise of $4,000 for his family. Dan Harris, ABC News, Mumbai.
Staying overseas, there is growing alarm in the African nation of Zimbabwe, where a cholera epidemic is spreading. The World Health Organization reports nearly 600 people have died from the disease. Another 12,000 have been infected. Zimbabwe's healthcare system is unable to cope, hobbled by a government paralyzed by political infighting. Here's ABC's Jim Sciutto.
It's a cholera epidemic spilling over Zimbabwe's borders. The only hope for thousands of victims is walking miles to neighboring South Africa, where some treatment, at least, is available.
You don't manage to buy your own drips. You don't manage to buy your own medication. There's no public health to talk about. You definitely will die.
Cholera is spread by a lack of clean drinking water, and today Zimbabwe has barely a drop. The government is running out of chemicals to treat it. A collapsing sewage system has added to the dangers.
The curve of the epidemic shows very, very alarming signs. We see that cholera is spreading within the affected areas, now rolling out.
Zimbabwe's hospitals can't provide basic care, much less treat cholera. As we found on a rare visit there this summer, this is a country in collapse. Zimbabwe has had no functioning government since disputed elections in June. Inflation at 230 million%. Life expectancy just 37 for men, 34 for women. And that's before the outbreak. In the capital Harare, graveyards have been busy with funerals. This one for 25-year-old Emma.
Things must just change because it's going to get serious. It seems like everyone is just going to die.
And the only relief, free grave sites for families of the victims. Jim Sciutto, ABC News, London.
And still ahead on World News, why is a bank under federal investigation throwing an extravagant bash for high rollers? Brian Ross investigates. The last days of Lyndon Johnson's presidency, private recordings just made public of a troubled president with the country in crisis. And the man spending a small fortune making sure the down and out are front and center at the inauguration.
This is World News with Charles Gibson, brought to you by Glad Food Bags.
Meet Erica. Grand Poobah of pasta. Chancellor of cheese.
Fresh.
Connoisseur of cold. She keeps her ingredients in Glad bags.
They're designed to grip with tall tabs and lots of ridges. Amazing.
So it's easy for her to help keep food fresh and handy.
Easy.
Go easy. Get Glad.
I'm Mark Goldston, Chairman and CEO of NetZero. All internet providers take you to the same internet, so why pay more to get there? NetZero is only $9.95 a month, and we give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call 1-800-NET-ZERO or visit netzero.com.
Should a man over 50 take the same multivitamin as a woman?
I don't think so.
One a day men's 50 Plus Advantage. The only complete multivitamin with support for prostate and heart health, plus more ginkgo for memory and concentration. Nice. From One a Day.
The snow is coming down on our New England town, and it's been falling all day long. I
Great gifts, exceptional values, with our 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get a free $10 gift card with $50 purchase at LL Bean.
Today I found out that my funny bone is sick and that my drug plan's monthly premium changed. So I compared other plans and found similar coverage at a better price.
Now's the time to review and compare Medicare prescription drug plans. And from November 15th to December 31st, you can even change your plan. Call 1-800-MEDICARE or go to Medicare.gov and use the Plan Finder to see options in your state.
Your funny bone is better now. And so is my prescription drug plan.
We've added a new wood-fired grill to every Red Lobster, a grill master in every kitchen, and created a new wood grill menu with 14 entrees done over the wood fire to bring out the natural flavors of our new lobster, shrimp, and scallops mixed grill, and give a subtle hint of the wood fire to our new sirloin and shrimp. Wood fire grilling, a whole new way to love seafood, now at Red Lobster.
One of the country's most important art shows opens today, a glitzy Miami Beach affair where culture, money, and power intersect. And a bank under criminal investigation is a major part of the picture. The lavish Art Basel festivities are being hosted in part by UBS, the financial firm accused of helping wealthy Americans dodge the IRS. ABC's Brian Ross investigates.
For the world's super rich, this 5-day art show in Miami is one of the year's social highlights.
The Dom Perignon of art.
In a convention hall full of fine art, celebrities, and rolling champagne bars, bad economic times seem a world away.
Someone will ask him the price and he'll say 3.2, meaning $3.2 million.
The price for this painting by the Belgian surrealist Magritte, $11.5 million.
This room is recession-proof.
It's one big shopping spree, and no one here seems to mind that the main sponsor is a Swiss bank, UBS, under federal criminal investigation.
UBS has a long, distinguished history of supporting the arts.
Federal prosecutors say they know a different history of the Zurich-based UBS, a bank where top executives are under investigation for helping rich Americans hide billions of dollars from the IRS in secret accounts. An indictment last month of Raoul Weil, the head of UBS's wealth management business, said the bank actually used the Miami Art Show to solicit new business from existing and prospective United States clients.
They sent their salespeople here. They had the encrypted computers. They smuggled assets out of the country to help these people conceal what they should have paid to IRS. So the question is, why should a bank like that be allowed to continue in business?
UBS says it no longer accepts U.S. money in secret accounts and is cooperating with federal prosecutors. But the investigation has not stopped the bank from sponsoring this huge art show and entertaining some of the country's wealthiest people, something bank executives do not want to talk about.
No comment on that. We're actually here for the art fair. Not interested in talking about that this week.
The art show organizers say they are proud to take UBS's sponsorship money.
As for federal prosecutors, they care a lot less about the bank's art patronage and care a lot more about finally getting the names of an estimated 20,000 wealthy Americans for whom UBS set up secret offshore accounts, Charlie.
Brian Ross investigating again tonight. Thanks. And coming up, the new LBJ tapes shedding light on one of America's most painful chapters.
I'm an eye doctor and a patient. For my type of chronic dry eye, over-the-counter drops aren't enough. So I also use what I prescribe for many of my patients, Restasis. It's the only prescription eye drop to help increase tear production, which may be reduced by inflammation due to chronic dry eye. Restasis shouldn't be used by patients with active eye infections and hasn't been studied in patients with a history of herpes viral infections of the eye. The most common side effect is a temporary burning sensation. Ask your eye doctor if Restasis is right for you. It is for me.
Campbell's makes more than 90 soups with MSG. Try Progresso instead. We make 26 delicious soups with no MSG, and we're removing MSG from all the rest. Progresso, what a soup should be.
Help seal out tough food particles. Fix it and control with Food Seal. Enjoy all the foods you love.
This fiber, I'd had my fill.
Then I found Miralax. Miralax relieves constipation with no bloating, no excess gas, no taste, no grit. You'll see, it's clearly different.
Restore your body's natural rhythm with Miralax.
At 6:30 in the morning, I have a cigarette, and then another on my way to work. At 10 on the dot, like clockwork, I have to go out for a smoke. And then I grab another after lunch. For me, smoking is more than just a habit. It's an addiction to nicotine. You know, quitting isn't easy. And when willpower isn't enough, it's time to talk to your doctor.
If you want to quit smoking, there is something you can do. Go to mytimetoquit.com or call 1-866-575-1200 to get the information you need to make the most out of your conversation with your doctor. You can also sign up to receive tips on quitting and find out more about a prescription treatment option.
It's 11:35, and it's my time to quit. Hi, Katie. Come on in.
Millions of people have put cigarettes behind them. This year, so could you. Make 2009 your time. Go to mytimetoquit.com or call 1-866-575-1200 now.
Whoa, freshly made pasta.
Yeah? Where'd that come from?
Made this myself. Okay, give me some. You know, this could come up in your review. Just kidding, that's crazy. Maybe.
Made fresh from your desk. Cook it, strain it, mix it, love it. New Healthy Choice Fresh Mixers.
In 1 year, there can be only 52 Persons of the Week. Now, starting tomorrow, for the next 4 Fridays, see the extraordinary few chosen Persons of the Year. So where have their lives taken them now? Tomorrow. Don't miss World News with Charles Gibson.
Today in Austin, Texas, the Johnson Presidential Library released 43 hours of tape of the former president's telephone conversations during 1968 and early '69. It was a tumultuous time, and the conversations show the president, ever blunt, anguished about the Vietnam War. Here's John Cochran.
The tapes are from the final dark year of the Johnson presidency.
It was an agonizing time. It was a time that tried men's souls, not just Lyndon Johnson, but indeed our entire nation.
I shall not seek. Johnson shocked the nation by announcing he would not run for re-election. The Vietnam War was a quagmire. Anti-war protests portrayed LBJ as a war criminal. Then the assassinations. Martin Luther King, Robert Kennedy. Kennedy and Johnson had been bitter rivals. Nevertheless, LBJ called Ted Kennedy.
Ted, I know what a burden you bear, but your shoulders are broad, and you've got lots of people who love you and who want to help you.
Johnson's vice president, Hubert Humphrey, was the Democratic nominee to succeed him. Humphrey went against his boss by supporting a halt to the bombing of Vietnam.
I'm shocked that the vice president considered it for a moment. He told me it was pure politics, and that caused me to think a good deal less of him.
During the campaign, Johnson told Senator Everett Dirksen he suspected that the Republican nominee, Richard Nixon, or his followers, were secretly trying to block peace in Vietnam, so Nixon would win the election.
I really think it's a little dirty pool for Dick's people to be messing with the South Vietnamese ambassador and carrying messages around to both of them. And they oughtn't to be doing this. This is treason.
Nixon called Johnson and denied the charge.
Any rumblings around about somebody trying to sabotage the Saigon government's attitude, there certainly have absolutely no credibility as far as I'm concerned. I'm very happy to hear that, Dick. But my God, I would never do anything to encourage Hanoi. I mean, Saigon not to come to the table.
Johnson kept trying, but the day Nixon succeeded him, the war was going as strong as ever. John Cochran, ABC News, Washington.
Fascinating insights into the Johnson presidency. One of the most complex men, one of the most interesting men to ever be in the White House. Up next, the man making inauguration dreams come true for those in need.
This is America. We protect what we hold dear. And every day, Bank of America is here for you. With 200,000 associates, 6,100 banking centers, and hundreds of products and services to help protect what you have and build opportunities for the future. No wonder families in America trust more of their hard-earned money with us than any other bank. Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity.
And the secret to perfect stuffing is this, but it's an old family secret.
So don't tell anyone.
I promise. Want to hear a secret?
Trusted for generations, the secret to perfect holiday stuffing is Swanson broth.
I never thought I would have a heart attack, but I did. You need to talk to your doctor about aspirin. You need to be your own advocate.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
You take care of your kids. Now it's time to take care of yourself.
Indulge in rich caramels, chocolates, and mochas, guilt-free, with Natural Instincts. It's antioxidant-rich color, and the more often you use it, the healthier your hair looks. So you can satisfy your craving for color every month. Natural Instincts from Clairol, naturally.
I have COPD, which makes it hard to breathe. But now that I'm breathing better with Advair, I can be my son's first mate.
For people with COPD, including chronic bronchitis, emphysema, or both, great news. Advair helps significantly improve lung function. While nothing can reverse COPD, Advair is different from other medications because it's the only product with an anti-inflammatory and a long-acting bronchodilator working together to help you breathe better. Advair won't replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be used more than twice a day. People with COPD taking Advair may have a higher chance of pneumonia. Advair may increase your risk of osteoporosis and some eye problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking Advair.
Thanks, Dad. I'm glad I could help. Ask your doctor how Advair helps improve lung function for better breathing.
Find out how to get your first full prescription free at advaircopd.com.
Meet the butter tub.
Dinner's ready.
Back then, we didn't know much about saturated fat.
Let's eat.
Today, there's I Can't Believe It's Not Butter. It's made with a blend of nutritious oils, so it has 70% less saturated fat with a fresh butter taste. I Can't Believe It's Not Butter.
We can't talk to the year's most fascinating people, but Barbara Walters can.
Are you a good man?
And she'll reveal who's #1. Barbara Walters' 10 Most Fascinating People of 2008. Tonight, 10/9 Central on ABC.
Tomorrow, it's a live online shopping challenge to find the absolute lowest prices on what everyone wants. Deep discounts on flat screen TVs, amazing travel, and that's just for starters. How good a deal can we get? Tomorrow, start here and have a good morning, America.
Finally tonight, a generous invitation. Inaugurations are times for parades to salute a new president.
I, William Jefferson Clinton.
And parties, of course, 10 or 12 inaugural balls. There's such big demand. The Obama inauguration will be, everyone says, the biggest ever. So good luck if you don't have a hotel room already booked. The Marriott Hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue recently advertised 300 hotel rooms for 3 nights, plus $200,000 worth of food, plus exclusive use of this great view 12th floor balcony for $1 million. $1 million. Enter Earl Stafford, the founder of a Virginia technology company. He gobbled it up to invite as his guests
those who are marginalized, those who are terminally ill, our wounded veterans. And because we don't want to exclude or leave out our young people, we will have a 300-person youth ball. So we have this whole area.
Absolutely.
On top of the $1 million, Stafford has another $600,000 ready to sponsor 2 more inaugural balls and tuxedos and gowns for his guests.
We believe it is important to include those who are less fortunate because, like Barack Obama, we too believe in the American dream.
A third of those guests will be the wounded, the homeless, the abused. The rest, people from foundations, volunteers, charitable organizations. Stafford wants to encourage them.
We're hoping that our feeble effort to do good in America would be contagious, and that other people and other organizations would look and say, well, you know, things might be a little tough for us, but we can still give.
To see the look in someone's eyes who never dreamed that they could have this opportunity.
Someone once said, if the Lord be your partner, make your plans large, and this is what has happened.
They are large plans indeed, a very generous man. That is World News for this Thursday. We leave you tonight with pictures from the lighting of the White House Christmas tree. I'm Charlie Gibson, and I hope you had a good day. For all of us at ABC News, have a good night.
ABC Tonight.
The first solo surgery will take place tonight.
Their fate.
Dr. Yang is going to pick the person.
Is in the hands of one of their own. ABC's Grey's Anatomy. All new tonight at 9/8 Central on ABC.
This holiday season, the Florida Lottery is back with something big. The all-new Holiday Millionaire Raffle, where 9 lucky players will each win $1 million, while over 1,000 others will win anywhere from $500 to $50,000. Plus, this year, Holiday Millionaire Raffle tickets are limited, so your odds of winning $1 million are the best yet. But hurry, because when they're gone, so are your chances to win. The Holiday Millionaire Raffle from the Florida Lottery. Get one for you. Get one for a gift. Just get one today.
It's Macy's one-day jewelry sale Saturday with a preview Friday. Save big on items like these 2-carat sparkling diamond earrings, $1,999. This 5-carat diamond bracelet, $1,599. A 1 1/4 carat diamond 3-stone ring, $999. And these 1-carat diamond hoop earrings, $599. Macy's one-day jewelry sale Saturday with a preview Friday. That's the magic of Macy's.
Here's what's on Local 10